You wouldn't believe these clips are from the same garden, let alone in the same year. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Tropical Gloss. And as the year draws to a close, it's time to have a look back at the successes and failures of 2025. We had the last freeze in mid-March, and then the plants woke up from their winter slumber, pushing out fresh flush of vivid foliage. It was then time to start hardening off the plants, ready for planting out. After the last frost had gone, it was time to unwrap the bananas, and I was really pleased to see that all of the pseudostems had survived the winter with the winter protection. They quickly started pushing out their amazing rollers, and before long they were in full leaf. A lot of people ask how these plants survive the UK weather, and if you subscribe to the channel, you've got a whole back catalogue that you could look back on, see how they go through winter, see how prepare them for winter, and see how they survive the following spring. Fresh spring flowers started appearing, like the euphorbias and also the chamaesyas. We designed a brand new bed in December of 24. And come spring of 25, it was time to plant out with all the hardened off plants that we've been saving up throughout winter. Another big relief was seeing the Tetrapanax had survived through winter and started pushing up its little hands, quickly pushing out very large leaves. The plant kept its height, giving it a really good start into the summer of 2025. By the end of June, all the planting of the hardened off plants had been completed in all of the beds, including this beautiful Strobilanthes mastersii. I was really looking forward to seeing how this one developed, as it was a new plant for me. Drastic measures were needed on this Ensete, as it wasn't growing properly, so I had to cut the top off, but it very quickly recovered. As the season rolled on, everything was settling in really well, and new growth was appearing pretty much everywhere in the garden. Then came the explosion of summer. With huge dramatic foliage and not a space spared, maximising the potential that this season brought. Pops of colour amid every shade of green. An abundance of sizes, textures and shapes, letting nature create its work of art. Punctuating the greenery were splashes of colour from exotic flowers, all enjoying the heat of summer and the sunniest season on record. It's honestly crazy what you can grow in the UK with a bit of planning. And if you're loving how this jungle look came together, hit that like button. It really helps other tropical gardeners find this video. It was, however, a very dry season. So to keep these plants alive, lots and lots of watering was in order. I introduced scheffleras into the garden in 2025, and they are quickly becoming one of my favourite group of plants. With their evergreen palmate foliage, they really do bring a touch of exotic. And the mighty Tetrapanax did not disappoint this year. Huge leaves from the outset, growing into a mighty plant, and started flowering in the beginning of August, developing this huge flower head, which just kept on growing and growing and growing. The palms I have in the garden also enjoyed the heat, really starting to fill out this year with their very, very large and exotic looking leaves. From Trachycarpus fortunei to Wagnerianus and Camarops, all adding a real evergreen backdrop to a very lush garden. And a new addition this year was my Butea capitata, which quickly established itself in its pot, pushing out 3 or 4 new leaves, adding a touch of elegance with its arching feathery foliage. There have been a few failures this year, mostly caused by me, but there were some that nature took hold and there's nothing I could do about. So we had the flowering black bamboo, which was pretty disastrous. Hopefully that will recover, but most was caused by overplanting. There's a fine line between overplanting and jungle chaos, and sometimes it just steps over. So this mower's toes unfortunately didn't get very much light at all. No new growth this year. Fingers crossed it will be okay for next year. I also lost this cordyline, which I was disappointed about. It's the second one that I've lost. I just think it's a beautiful plant, so I'm going to give it one more go. Let's see if it pulls through next time. And then there was obviously the Phytolacca americana, which just became a rampant plant, quickly taking over the centre bed. I don't think I'll be planting this plant again. So as one year draws to a close, another year is just around the corner with the promise and potential of a whole new year's worth of planting. I've got loads of plans for next year. There's going to be an irrigation system put throughout the garden in case we have another dry year like this year. There's also lots of new plants that I'm going to be experimenting with. There's a whole load going on in the greenhouse, and new propagators and new seeds being sown already. I would like to wish you all a very happy new year. I'd like to thank you all for watching my videos throughout the year, especially people that subscribed. And I do hope that 2026 brings you the garden of your dreams.